Hi BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I am coming to you with my August 2020 wrap-up and stats. So this is a day delayed. I'm sorry, I meant to get this up on Wednesday, like I usually try and put videos up on Wednesdays, but yesterday I had a bit of a lazy day, to be completely honest, and today is Thursday and I am filming this the day it's going to go up. But yeah, I have all of my stats and stuff here that I want to share with you guys, all of, what I read in the month of August. I'm not going to talk about every single book that I read, but what I am going to go through and do, of course, are all my stats, like I said, and talk very briefly about my challenges, including, of course, the summer fling. And then I am going to share with you my top 5 books that I had for the month of August. I think I might actually change up the way that I do this in September, but we shall get into that when September hits, or after September, in October when I do my September video. So we will start off with my stats, of course, and I read a total of 26 books in the month of August. Pretty good month. Not my best reading month. I think my best reading month was May, but I came very close. So for my Goodreads goal, I am 25 books ahead of schedule. I've read 184 out of 240 books, and I'm at 77% of that done. So yay, that's pretty awesome. So I had 2 3-star books, 7 3.5-star books, 10 4-star books, 2 4.5-star books, and guys, I had 4 5-star reads, 4 of them in the month of August. That is not like me at all. You know, I do not throw around 5-star reviews lightly, so to have 4 of them in a month, I will consider that to be a win. I read 15 contemporary romance novels, no surprise there. And then from there, only 2 mysteries, and then 1 of each of the rest: 1 Amish romance, a cozy mystery, a historical fiction, a middle grade fiction, a paranormal romance, a romantic suspense, a thriller, a women's fiction, and a YA contemporary. So clearly August was the month of romance. I read, and I like to keep track of this stat, the Harlequin imprints that I read. 19% of what I read this month were Harlequin imprints, and I read from 1 of each of the following lines: desire, presents, romance, romantic suspense, and a medical romance. 22 of the books that I read were geared towards an adult audience. 3 of them were YA and 1 was middle grade. I read 1 book published in the 1930s, 1 in the 1980s, 2 in the 1990s, 1 from the 2000s, 8 books published between 2010 and 2019, and 13 books published this year in 2020. 13 of the books that I read were on ebook, 12 of them were audiobook, and 1 was a mass market paperback. 24 of the books that I read were 24 were full-length novels, 1 was a novella, and also I read a graphic novel. 19 of the books that I read were part of a series. 7 of them were standalone. Of those 19 books that were part of a series, 11 of them were part of ongoing series. 8 of them were new series that I started. Oops. I read a grand total of 7,524 pages, and that equals to about 243 pages per day, so that's not too shabby. So challenges and events. Of course, I did the Triple RC challenge, as I always do. This is my 4th year and 8th month that I've done it consecutively and completed it. So as I like to talk about, this is probably one of my favorite challenges. It is my favorite challenge, I think. You get 10 prompts and 10 prompts, and they encourage you to read a book per prompt. You can pick as many as you want. You can do 1, 5, 8, 10, however many you want. I always go for 10, and I really, really enjoy that one. Of course, the other big one was the Summer Fling, which I hosted, and I had a ton of co-hosts, and I want to stop here and give a special thank you to every single one of my co-hosts. You guys rocked. I love all of you so much, and thank you all so much for participating. To everyone who did participate, I love all of you too. Thank you so much for participating in this and doing your TBR videos and doing your videos over the course of the month. It has been a bunch of fun, and I am really looking forward to doing it next year. And an extra special little shout out to Elizabeth over at Lizzie Faye Loves Books, who put together the very, very awesome Instagram challenge that I know a lot of people really liked. So I am looking forward to next year. So I'm going to share with you all the books that I read for the Summer Fling along with the prompts that they were for. A couple of them did change to what I originally had talked about for my August TBR. Down Home Country. I read The Truth About Cowboys by Lisa Renee Jones. This was the first book in the Texas Heat series. Really enjoyed this one. For Big City Life, I read Blame It on the Billionaire by Naima Simone, book 3 in the Blackout Billionaire series. Great book as well. For the author of color, I read Take a Chance on Me by Suelika Snyder, I believe is how you say her name. For Hot and Spicy, Can't Stand the Heat by Louisa Edwards. This one was a bit of a dud, but it was all right. I just didn't absolutely love it. For Dark and Dangerous, I ended up changing this one, and this one became Phantom Evil by Heather Graham, the first book in the Crew of Hunters series. I didn't get to the one I originally had planned, but I had read this one earlier in the month, and it is a paranormal romance, so I absolutely think it fits the Dark and Dangerous. For Sweet and Clean, I read Amish Protector by Marta Perry. For Road Trip, Drive Me Crazy by Samantha Chase. Really great book. For Friends to Lovers, this one got changed as well, and I slotted this one in as Just One of the Guys by Kristen Higgins, which is a Friends to Lovers story, or a childhood sweetheart story, but definitely they were friendly, friends before they got together. For Diversity, I read Hairpin Curves by Elia Winters, excuse me. This was a female-female romance. I'll talk more about this one in just a little bit. Spoiler alert. For Disability Representation, Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Really great book. Really enjoyed it. For Old School Historical, I read Indigo by Beverly Jenkins, the great Beverly Jenkins. This one was fantastic. And for my category romance, I read Confessions of an Italian Marriage by Danny Collins, which I did enjoy, but I didn't absolutely love it. So my top 5 books, as I like to say, I do these in order from least most favorite to most favorite. And I did say I had 4 5-star reads. One of the 5-star reads is actually not in my top 5. The reason for that is because it was a reread. Both Phantom Evil and by Heather Graham and Just One of the Guys by Kristen Higgins. I've read both of those within the last 4 or 5 years. So I was not going to count them in my top 5 because they are a more recent reread. If I've read it probably like more than 5 years ago, I might count it in like a top 5 list. But since it's more recent, or since they're both more recent, they did not, because the Kristen Higgins book was my other 5-star read, the one that I don't mention here. So just so you guys know. Starting at the bottom, Drive Me Crazy by Samantha Chase. I gave this one 4.5 stars. It was so good. It was, it started off very similar to the book Dashing Through the Snow by Debbie Maycomer. And it's about a woman who's on the run from her wedding and a guy who, in a very separate area, his car is stolen by his brother. And the two of them end up meeting up at a a car rental place. And they both need a vehicle and there's only one left, so they agree to do this road trip from Nevada to Atlanta, Georgia. And that's essentially the entire story. And the road trip, of course, is their story. And it was so good. It's not a terribly long book. It was a lot of fun, and I really recommend it. I loved it. The next one that is on my list is A Highlander in a Pickup Truck by Laura Trentham. This one I also gave 4.5 stars to. This one was really cute. It is the second in a series. I do recommend maybe that you go ahead and read the first book first. So it takes place in this town called Highland, Georgia, and it's about a Scottish man who comes over and he is there to help out with these Highland games. And of course, romance ensues, and it was really cute, really adorable. Highly recommend. Next up, The Other Miss by Mary Kabaka. This one I gave 5 stars to. This was a thriller. I do not want to get, of course, too much into what this whole thing is about, again, because it is a thriller. But it is essentially about this family that moves to this small community, and stuff happens, and that's all I'm gonna say. But it was really good. I have not read a Mary Kabaka in a number of years, and now I want to go back and pick up some of the ones that I had not read by her recently. Next up, Beard in Mind by Penny Reed, another 5-star read. This one was really cute. This was Beau's story, and he falls for a woman named Shelley who works at the the auto shop with them. And so I think this is the 5th book in the Winston Brothers series, but you don't necessarily have to have read the other ones, but I do recommend maybe that you even read, or was it book 4? This was book 4, because I recommend that maybe you read book 3, which is Cletus's story, if you're going to read this one, because the two of them follow the same timeline. Which I really loved, because there was a little nod in this one to the first one. to book number 3 because um, Bo is saying something about Cletus, and then he's like, oh, but that's a completely other story or something like that. And I just thought it was really cute. But they do follow the same period of time. So yeah, but neither one gives the other away, and I thought it was really, really well done. Nothing is spoiled for the other book. So you wouldn't necessarily have to read Cletus's story, but it would be a lot of fun. This one also had really great representation in it for mental illness, because Shelley suffers from OCD that she is actually in therapy for, and it was very, very interesting. This one is done in a dual narration, and I listened to this one on audio. I've listened to all of them on audio, and what I really liked about this one is that Bo tells the bulk of the story. He's narrating the bulk of the story, but the parts where Shelley is narrating, it's usually when she's seeing her therapist, and I really liked that look into what she's dealing with. And there's a great author's note at the end of this book as well. Fantastic. I highly recommend it. And my number 1 book of the month was Hairpin Curves by Elia Winters. Oh my gosh, I was hoping, we all go into books hoping we're going to like them. But this one, I did not realize how much I was going to love it. And it is, like I said, a female-female romance. And it is a frenemies to lovers, I want to say, because they were friends in high school. Or no, they were friends as children, growing up all through high school, and then they were going to go to university or college together. And then something happens, and the two of them end up, the friendship dissolves essentially. And then there's another friend that they know in public school who's now getting married. She thinks these two, Megan and Scarlett, are still friends with each other and invites them both to her wedding. So the two of them decide to kind of buck it up and take this road trip together from Florida to Quebec City, so right up the eastern seaboard. And it is a delight. The bulk of the story, most of it, I'd say, if there's 20 chapters, 18 of them are taken off the road trip, or follow the road trip. And it was so great seeing all these different places, especially from Megan's eyes, because she's never really traveled outside of Florida before. She's seeing a lot of these places for the first time, snow for the first time, because the story takes place in February. And outside of the romance itself, which was super cute and really, really sweet, the friendship, the rebuilding of the friendship was even more so for me what I was in it for. And it was really, really great. I mean, if you took the romance out of it, and I really liked the romance part of it too. It almost read like I don't want to say a women's fiction, but more like a chick lit kind of novel. That's something I really like in my novels, is that female friendship, and it was really, really delightful. I highly, highly recommend it. And my only sad part is now it's really hit the bar high for female romance for me, that I just feel any other ones that I'm going to read are just not going to stack up to this one. So that's the one downside, but still highly enjoyable. I absolutely recommend this one. So anyway, guys, that's all that I have for this video today. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below what was your favorite book that you read in the month of August. And did you participate in the summer fling? And how did you do? Did you finish off our little prompt card? Or did you only read a couple books? That's fine too. Or did you just pick up romance that you wouldn't normally have picked up before? Because I'd love to know that too. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.